All right. So, just first thing, introduce yourself. It's really great to have you.
I'm Patrick. I play guitar. I'm Elliot, and I play the bass.
I'm Will, and I play guitar, sing.
And I'm Evan, and I play the drums.
So, first,
Parker, who's not here.
Oh.
Yeah, and our keyboardist is not here at the moment. Parker.
All right. All right. So, first question, what's your greatest source of inspiration?
Greatest source of inspiration? Probably, for me at least. Are you talking about like artists or just anything?
Artist, anything really.
For music? For music? I mean, probably there's a lot of the 70s, 60s, 70s jazz guys that I listen to a lot. Also, old funk guitarists and classic rock, really. Yeah, and I guess for me, it would be Justin Chancellor, the bassist for Tool. I've only been playing bass for about a year now, but I love him and Deftones. I'd say that's where I get most of my influence from.
I'd probably say just like Patrick was talking, 60s, 70s guitarist in general. A lot of those bands from that era, you know, all of that music is extremely influential today, and it will be for a long time, I think. But I guess one band in particular that's really inspires me is probably like Queens of the Stone Age, and pretty much every project that Josh Homme does outside of that band.
And I guess for me, Led Zeppelin is a really big drum influence. John Bonham is one of the best drummers out there. He's always going to be on a top 10 list. And then I really like jazz fusion. So I'm really into Snarky Puppy, and their drummer's very good. And then I guess in like everything, like tips and tricks, like YouTube drummers. I get a lot of help from YouTube drummers.
Yeah.
Great. I've heard of some of those musicians, but I definitely want to branch out a lot more from what I listen to normally.
Yeah.
Next question. How does your hometown affect your music?
Well, there's a mixed bag here in Chattanooga. There's a lot of like folk, Americana, but there's also on the flip side like a ton of metal and punk and a pretty decent jazz scene as well. So we've been fortunate enough to like get to play with a lot of those metal heads and punk bands and just get a nice taste of the wide variety of music we have here. So I think that just like we always end up playing with other bands that are so wildly different from us that I don't know, we kind of pick up on tips and tricks from watching those guys play. So it's just a mixed bag, and it's really really cool to know that like, oh, I could go see a bluegrass band or a folk rock band and then walk two doors down and see a heavy metal band, and then the next night see a punk band or a country band, and they might even share the same stage that night. So
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know that I have much inspiration from my hometown just for music. We're brothers. We're both from Memphis, so a lot of rap coming out of there. And besides that, I don't really listen to any bands from Memphis. Well, for me at least, Memphis has played a big role in me developing as a guitar player just because it's home of the blues. And that's what I started off playing. It's what I still play a lot of the times. You got a lot of great people, great blues artists come out of Memphis. So I'd say that's where I draw a heavy portion of my inspiration, just from the sole fact that's where I grew up. Yeah.
I would say my hometown definitely has an influence on my music. Um, Maybe just more so. I mean, I'm not exactly sure how big the disparity is, but like since Nashville is like Music City, whatever, and I live just below Nashville, that was my hometown. uh, there was just everybody growing up did music, so I was able to just kind of like be exposed to that. And I don't know, I feel like that was a big part of it. It's just like the people that you hang around with and what they the musicians they tell you about. Like these guys have given me some of the best uh music recommendations I've had. So that's one thing that I really think, like, where you live is like what music your friends talk about is very important, and that changes from location to location. um but yeah.
Good answer.
I think that what's always been kind of uh, nice about being in a band together is because we're all from different parts of Tennessee that all have extremely different styles, like, dominating styles of music. And when we first started playing together, we all had different ideas of what kind of music we would play. And like the first few songs that we wrote had like a variety of different styles. Like you can tell listening back to all that, it's like, oh, Patrick is definitely from Memphis, the way he plays his guitar. And it's kind of just varies from song to song. Everybody brings a different flavor. And I guess you can, if you really listen to it and look into it, it's like, oh, that comes from different regions of Tennessee. So I guess, I don't know. I think the biggest inspiration is just us. Like playing with these guys always inspires me to try something new. So. Oh, I think you're muted.
There we go. Sorry. Kind of keeping with the inspiration theme, what inspired your guys' name?
Patrick, you should tell that story.
Okay. All right. So originally we were Moon Hollow. Elliot over here wasn't in the band. We picked him up like a year ago, but we changed our name and rebranded to Oki Turbo. And the only reason is because where I've worked for the past 3 years, we have an old printer that we use, Oki Data Turbo Edition. So that, I mean, it's pretty cut and dry. I saw that and I was like, dude, we should revamp and rename this Oki Turbo. And everybody thought it was badass. So we stuck with it. Basically, it's just an old printer.
All right. So this could probably be a question that has like a lot of range. What are your favorite genres of music outside of the genres that you play and listen to a lot?
It's a good one. I guess I'll go first. Biggest inspiration. I mean, Will nailed it on the head. Me and him both listen to a ton of Queens of the Stone Age. I listen to a ton of jazz, like jazz fusion, classic jazz, and this has been a recent thing, but that's where I'm drawing a lot of inspiration currently. Wes Montgomery, just like a ton of great guitarists from back in the day. We don't necessarily play that type of music, but it definitely brings a lot. It's bringing a lot into it currently. So yeah, and I've just the last like 2 years, I've just gotten really into metal, and that's honestly about all I really listen to right now. And so I think that's been a different part of the band, because I'm not the best bassist because I haven't been playing that long, but everything I play is like real deep and heavy and has fuzz on it. Yeah. It's pretty much all just been like different variations of metal. Some not as intense stuff like Tool, or heavier stuff like Arcspire. But
We
it's
don't.
somewhat of a wide range of metal.
Yeah, which is cool because we don't play metal music, but we have a metal bassist.
Yeah, I guess that's about it for me.
I guess like outside of the type of the genres that we play, I like to listen to a lot of pop music. Like I'm a sucker for it for no reason. I used to hate pop music, but like the last 2 years, gotten really, really into it, especially the new stuff that a lot of these people out in LA are doing that, you know, they record all of it in their bedroom. It's just them and a little sampler up on stage. And I've really enjoyed listening to that style of music, even though we certainly don't play anything similar to it. I think it's probably my favorite genre right now.
And for me, I guess I could go jazz fusion. Then I also like funk. Like there's this guy Maki that I've been checking out recently. He's pretty good. But it's mostly like whatever has a good rhythm section. That's what I care about, is the rhythm section, because that's where I'm thinking. Yeah. I felt like I had more to say, but I forgot.
Great. All right. So, kind of keeping with the music world, who's an artist that you would want to collab with? Like, anyone in your wildest dreams?
Oh, geez. The Weeknd.
Yeah,
The Weeknd would be cool.
that would be sweet.
I'd love to play guitar on some of his tracks. That would be crazy.
Very randomly, I don't know. I don't listen to a lot of Rob Zombie, but I feel like that'd be really fun. Like man, as I said, I don't listen to a lot. What's their band called? White Zombie. Yeah, White Zombie. Because that band's ridiculous. I think that'd be fun.
Yeah. Keep the pace kind of with what we play already. I mean, they play a lot of like, there's some stuff that they have that you could kind of see a similar genre there, and with some of our songs.
Yeah,
that would be killer.
I'd want to collab with All Them Witches.
So,
Like a Southern Gothic, I guess, metal band out of Nashville, and they're just absolutely incredible.
I didn't know they're from Nashville.
Oh yeah,
they're amazing, and I think we have a similar vibe, or at least we're closer to it. I think we'd make some cool stuff with them if we got the chance.
Yeah,
definitely. Mine's kind of a weird pick. It's this like European electronic artist called Tennyson, Tennnyson. But it's just really good rhythm along with EDM stuff. Like, I don't know, I've been really blown away by his stuff, and I'm just a big fan of his. So if I out of the blue somehow got to collab with him, that would be dope.
You said European, and I just immediately thought the Ant-Bird, but they're South African.
Yeah. That'd be cool too, though.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
And then last question. Where would you want your music to go in the future?
I'd like to go all the way to the top. We played a doubleheader this weekend. By doubleheader, I mean we played Friday night at a competition, first round, which we won, which was awesome. And we played with a lot of great bands. We played again last night, and loading, unloading, loading again, unloading, loading again, and then unloading. I would like to have roadies. That's what I want my future to be. I don't want to ever have to carry all that stuff up on stage again. I want to be able to walk up there and it's just already done for me.
Oh man, nice.
That's all I want. I don't care how big we are.
Yeah. Have your guitar tuned and restrung.
ready to
the day
go
before.
every time.
I'd like to see us out on the road. Going, to different regions. We've done a little bit of work in like North Georgia, but most of it's been in Tennessee, like between here, Chattanooga, and like Murfreesboro, those areas. And I'd really like to see us, branch out, like up north or out west, and just it would be cool to make it like a full-time gig. Ultimately, that's what I'd like it to be. So.
Yeah, I second that. Yeah, just pretty much a full-time gig, the ability to just pay my rent through music and have this be like my full-time job. That's like the dream.
Absolutely.
It would be nice.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's everything. Thank you guys again so much for being here and being a part of our Appalachia In Focus exhibit. And we're so excited to have heard from you guys.
Absolutely.
Thank you.